Yes, most of you have seen the videos between me and Teeny from earlier this year, and I made a video saying that I was done with that. She made a video saying that she didn't want any more of it, and I was quite happy to leave it where it was, despite all the loose ends not being tied up, despite all her lies not being accounted for. But then something very strange happened. This summer we had a video call where she mentioned to me that she thought the whole thing that we did was a charade that I was in on and I knew what was happening. And she said that the whole thing was for content and she didn't actually mean any of the things that she said. I did push back on that at the time and say, well, even if that was the case, how do you think I would have known that you were acting that way? Then she came out with a thing about when she wears the cap. If she wears a cap, then it's not serious. She's in character. She's Teeny. Which is interesting because the video, which is now gone, by the way, on her YouTube, saying that she didn't want any more of this, she wasn't wearing a cap. But caps aside, let's take a look back at some of the things she said on those videos earlier this year, and let's try and understand whether she was being serious or not. Now, bear in mind, I was blocked. There was certainly no agreement to be creating any content like this with her. And she's got this habit of mentioning my obsession with her. And I'd like to remind everybody that the initial contact was from her to me. She took a video that I made that wasn't about her and put it on her live stream. Let's take a look at some of that video first.
There's a dude on the internet.
Me, a dude on the internet.
I'm
just a guy.
There's a dude on the internet, who made a YouTube video. Okay.
That's me. I'm the guy on the internet that made the YouTube video.
Hover are exploiting people.
That's right. The people at the top, they know exactly what they're doing. They know it's not going to help the little guy, regardless of their content. It's about who you get in with, whether you get on with them, and they're forming this clique at the top, which will grow ever more popular, and the people at the bottom get nothing.
Really sorry to this man, because I'm about to rip him a brand new asshole.
I'm looking forward to it, I'll be honest. It's that Lamborghini. I found him and went down that rabbit hole. Is he okay? He seems a little off. I'm not okay, clearly.
Fine. So he would not come into a call with me and go over every single point in his video.
I would go into a call with her and do it, provided that we recorded it so that she was accountable for what she said and so that other people got the answers too.
Instead, he wanted to take it to a public platform. Fine. Good luck to you. So far, ask yourself, do you think this is something that me and her staged? Because remember, this is what she claims now.
Which is a leaderboard which shows you the people who have the most gravity. They say they're going to change that leaderboard to possibly...
Gravity?
And now we're at the mocking level. So she talks later how if you start to detract from the argument with other stuff that's personal, then you've lost the argument. I mean, she's doing it here. Shows you the people who have the most gravity. They say they're going to change that leaderboard to possibly monthly or even weekly leaderboards.
Yeah.
What you're about to see here is the first ever major red flag that I saw from her.
He said no one would take a call. I literally offered him a call last night and I was very, very polite. And the first thing he said to me was, hey, by the way, I'm not homophobic. I stand up for people and I'm not homophobic because one time I called out a Discord that had a lot of my viewership in it for being homophobic. Thank you so much, you fucking white knight. No one gives a fuck, dude.
So let's slide into these DMs and go over this in more detail. Obviously, I put a clip out about this, but you've already seen, which had to be short. So we're going to go into a bit more detail this time. She obviously offers the call. She just said she doesn't consent to being recorded because you don't speak for Hover, but you've offered a mediated conversation instead. So, okay, you didn't want to do the recorded conversation. I wanted to do the recorded conversation. Obviously, I give my reasons for that and whatever. Because from the looks of it, you've been making videos on these and I'm not interested in being used for clout, to be honest. I just wanted to talk creator to creator. I put, honestly, I've never done anything for clout. I have just stood by my morals. I've called out big discords for homophobia despite it housing a third of my viewership at the time. The reason I am saying this is because I'm saying I'm not a clout chaser. I don't do things for clout. I would have just left that Discord, not said anything about it to anyone, not brought it up, and feigned ignorance if I didn't want to lose a third of my audience. But that's not how I do things. I don't care for the clout. I'd rather do things properly and morally. I've questioned big, unethical streamers knowing full well I'd be hated, because their viewers will go blindly at somebody who calls them out. It doesn't matter whether you make a good point or not, that will always happen. And these were people that were potential viewers who watched the games that I played. She put, "Thanks for calling out the homophobia. As a lesbian, I appreciate you for that. Think about what I said. Think about what she said. Let's watch what she said one more time."
He said no one would take a call. I literally offered him a call last night and I was very, very polite. And the first thing he said to me was, "Hey, by the way, I'm not..."
It also wasn't the first thing I said either. I mean, you could see from the conversation there, it wasn't the first thing that we said.
Not homophobic. I stand up for people and I'm not homophobic because one time I called out a Discord that had a lot of my viewership in it for being homophobic.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much, you fucking white knight.
It hurts so much to watch, to see somebody lie like that when you're literally doing it on camera, when the receipts are there. I feel so bad, but what can you do? You know, it's just a barefaced lie.
No one gives a fuck, dude. That's like saying, "Oh, by the way, lesbian, the only lesbian I know on Twitch. Just so you know, I'm not homophobic because one time I said no."
And the other thing is, I had no idea who she was or her sexuality. I didn't know whether they were male or female or their gender. I had no idea because their profile picture was an avatar and I didn't know who they were, and their name was Teeny Giant, and there was nothing masculine or feminine about the name particularly, so I had no idea.
Fucking eat my dick, dude. What the fuck was that? And I sarcastically
Eat your dick.
Fuck you.
Hilarious. Telling lies is funny.
He doesn't want a call. He doesn't want a phone call. He's a dickhead.
He doesn't want a phone call, he's a dickhead. Well, yeah, I did want the phone call, it's just you didn't want it recorded. But, yeah, I am a dickhead, though.
Jesus Christ, we're 3 minutes and 22 seconds in, and I've already called out every single fucking mistake this dude has made.
This is the other thing that gets me. She's so adamant. She's so adamant, she's absolutely correct. She told me she thought that I was in on this with her when she was doing this. I didn't know her. Apart from that one conversation that you've just seen, didn't know her. Didn't know who she was. Never spoken to her. How she can sit there and claim this was all a charade is really beyond me. So for context again, after this video, she spoke on her stream again, and it was weird, but this is what she said.
There is a group of individuals who actively hate me.
There isn't a group of individuals that actively hate you. There's me asking questions about the lies you're telling and your involvement with Hover.
This is a thing. Let them hate, dude.
Obviously, when you're trying to manipulate your audience and get them to believe certain things, you make them out to be much worse than what they are. So saying there's a group of people who actively hate her when it's only me that's really questioning her at this point, I don't really see that.
Have I seen his video? No, I haven't. Will I watch his video? No,
I wouldn't watch it either, to be honest.
Because do I want to watch a man belligerently give his opinion again and again? No.
I mean, there was a fair bit of opinion on it. There was also facts, and there was also you being caught red-handed with proof of your lies. So yeah, I probably wouldn't want to watch it either.
I don't. I gave my opinion on the content that he gave, and then he stole my content, which he's not allowed.
She's saying she gave her opinion on the content that I gave. I mean that's fine. She's entitled to give her opinion. But if you're going to give your opinion, you got to be prepared to take it back as well. But again, you didn't just give opinion, you told lies, and those lies were proven.
To do, because it's not free use, and then put it on his YouTube.
So she's saying there that I took her content and put it on my YouTube, where she took my content and put it on her Twitch. I don't really know what she expects, and she's clearly not clued up on what DMCA is, because good luck trying to get a video taken down that contains you, that has somebody commentating on you.
And he's tweeting about me, apparently. Wow, I applied for a partner on Twitch, even though all of my views are fake.
I didn't say that her views were fake, and I explained in the last video, all her views have been gained since she became Hover partner.
Hey guys, are you fake? Put a 1 in chat. Put a 1 in chat if you're not really here.
Using the word fake helps to spin the narrative a bit, because the one thing I've never been is fake, and the one thing she absolutely is and has proven is that she is fake. But again, using that manipulative language, put a 1 in the chat. She obviously doesn't like open-ended questions or discussion about it. It's just like, are you fake or are you not? Which is not a word I used anyway.
Wow.
Of course, 1.
Wow, I can't believe that. Wow. You all fake? So yeah, if you are here to watch me react to a video that he released, it was over an hour long, dude. All it was, and he's clipped out multiple parts where I make very good points.
I didn't clip out that much. If anyone wants to see the full video, I'll happily send you a link to my Google Drive and you can watch it at your leisure. I covered the most prominent points from the whole and somebody did ask me for that full link and I gave it. And people have asked me for that full link and I've given it to them, by the way. Conversation, warts and all. Whether or not they were potentially embarrassing for me, it didn't matter. That wasn't what it was about. Oh yeah, he missed out a lot of points that I made. Well, why didn't you say what they were then? Say what they were if they were so bad. Say what the points are then that I missed out. It's not going to happen, is it? Because there weren't any.
Dude, if it took me 2 hours to go through your video, it should have taken you 3 hours to make a YouTube video on my video making you video.
I really don't understand that. It actually took a lot longer to make the video, but you were doing it live, so obviously I condensed the content. It's really simple on a live stream. The content keeps going, things distract you, you talk to people. In a video, you get to the point and it's condensed down.
You know what I mean? So, he's clipped out multiple parts, apparently, so I think that tells you. But yeah, guys.
I think that tells you what? What does it tell you? Like, it tells you that there was so much to go through, so I took the most prominent things. It's as simple as that. And like I said again, I think if you watch the video, it'd be pretty hard to believe that outside of that hour that was spent on her, she'd be making any pretty good points. And there really were only a few points left.
If you watch the video or if you see any tweets about me that are negative, please report the Twitch page of the account involved.
Please report the Twitch page of the account involved. So she's saying if you see it on Twitter, report it on Twitch. She wants my Twitch reported. What does she want my Twitch page reported for? Because I made a reply to her video after she made one about me and I had no idea she was until the night before and we'd had a civil conversation. What's one of the things that I found absolutely hilarious is the language she's used and the language I've used, and she's the one that's saying I should be reported.
Because we don't allow harassment on Twitch.
And she also says it's harassment. I'm not sure she really knows what harassment is. Two main factors of harassment are one, physical presence, which obviously isn't the case here because it's on the internet. And secondly, language. So I'm not going to say anything to you. You've probably watched the previous video. Which one of us do you think uses harassing language and has used harassing language?
And that is exactly what it is at this point because I haven't talked to him, responded to him, anything.
She hasn't talked to me, responded to me or anything, no. And I know I hadn't to you until I released the video.
I haven't responded to anyone since they started.
This bit is really strange because literally all I did was reply to her. And then she's saying, well, I haven't spoken to anyone. I haven't spoken to him. No, I was doing my reply. And then you come along and do this.
Started on me. I just reacted to a fair use video.
She's saying this thing, fair use, fair use. I'm fine. You can use the video. I don't care. So you can use videos for commentary often. The thing is with fair use, it's a very grey area. But if the content is about you, it's fair game. The video's already been reviewed and it remains there to this day.
If you do see anything negative about me, please take the link and report their Twitch account for harassment. Because that is what it is at this point.
Also, it was kind of strange that she was saying report their Twitch link. Wherever they'd seen it, do it on the Twitch link. Weird. Harassment.
Thank you so much for resubbing for 6 months. And this isn't her hate raid. This is just me telling you guys, please, just do your due diligence. Holy fuck.
Do your due diligence. And that's what? Going and reporting me because you didn't like the reply that showed you were a liar.
Yeah, just only do it if, your favorite thing is it's restricted.
The video wasn't
has this video been taken down?
You see that awkward scoring in the bottom left corner? Reporting now, it says. What exactly are you reporting? What is it that you're possibly reporting? Hey, Twitch, one of your streamers is telling the truth and I'm not having it. Somebody laughed in the chat because they think it's been taken down.
I don't think he would have gone that far to...
It wasn't.
Like, he doesn't seem like the person that will go that far to, like, do something, like, bad.
Well, I mean, if you say it wasn't fair use and the video got reported and it wasn't taken down, then you're saying I don't seem like the person to do that something bad. No, I didn't do something bad.
Never mind. But yeah, so guys, if or harassing, that you just report the Twitch account involved.
again, she's telling them to report the Twitch account involved, which is obviously my account. That's what she wants to do.
Because at this point, what he's doing is he's actively just trying to destroy a career.
This language is really interesting now. He's actively trying to destroy a career. This is when I'd replied to a video she'd made with lies in. This is her absolutely trying to manipulate her audience. It's trademark behavior of a narcissist. That's why she uses extreme language like, they hate me, trying to destroy the career. No, all I want is for you to tell the truth or not talk about me. It's very simple. It would also be nice for you to stop manipulating people and telling them that Hover's going to be great for them when you know it's not. But that's up to you. My main worry is you talking about me still and lying about me still. It's really, really simple. If you don't want to reply, you don't say anything. You've told all the lies and you've got yourself in the mess, so you're not having the last word. That's not going to happen.
That took me 2 very long years to build and a lot of hard work to do.
I won't dispute that she's put hard work into anything. I have no idea. But we all know that her numbers have come in the last month from being a Hover partner, as I've already said. Before that, as I showed you in the last video, all her figures, pretty steady. Not really much growth at all.
Which I don't think is very fair.
No,
just
it's
because
unfair,
I use
isn't
an
it?
app that he doesn't agree with.
Yeah.
It's
It's
kind of
unfair that I
sad,
called you
honestly.
out and you were caught.
So yeah, that's what I'm asking for, because that's what he's trying to do. He's actively trying to cancel me.
So she's saying that's what I'm asking for because that's what he's trying to do. I haven't told anybody to report her channel. And I haven't even had to tell any of my community not to go after her like she does with hers. And you know why that is? Because my community is full of reasonable and responsible human beings. And her community is full of toxic people who are absolutely desperate to get to the top of the streaming game. And unfortunately, the Hover platform is encouraging that.
And you know what I will respond to though? There was a video that claims that I hate raided someone. And it was cut a lot out of context if you've seen the video. And what that was me on someone's podcast saying why I don't troll people when I raid anymore.
She says that this video is cut a lot out of context. Well, fortunately, I do have a copy of the full video, not the video that's been taken out of context. So we can play that through for a while without the cuts and we can see what's been said.
So I used to go into the channels and I used to break a rule in like a funny way. So it wasn't actually like a genuine rule break. Like, you know what I mean?
Wasn't a genuine rule break. Remember what she's saying here. Keep what she's saying here in mind. She says it wasn't a genuine rule break. We're going to need to remember this in a little bit.
I mean, and
so the next thing we're going to look at is a podcast she did a long time ago. I'm showing you all this again because it's very important as we move forward because you can see the pattern of lies that she tells. And also, I think many of you might not have seen this. If you want to see the whole thing, it's on Anime Daddy's Twitch. There's no secret. If you think I'm cutting and pasting and twisting to fit the narrative, then you're welcome to take a look for yourself. So I'm about to begin the podcast. Now, the only thing is, this is where the podcast begins. So I don't know what was said before, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
And the first thing I do when I go into someone's channel is I'll look at their channel rules and I'll break one in a funny way.
Notice that her language is present. What I do when I go to somebody's stream, not what I did when I used to go into somebody's stream. Now, as I said, I don't know what was said before, but what she said on our video before was she's explaining why she stopped doing it. Well, but she's using present language. And by the way, as we go through the video, there is nothing else in the entirety of the video where she mentions that she doesn't do it anymore. As we go through the next couple of minutes, watch the language she uses, watch her mannerisms, see if she seems remorseful in any way for what she claims she used to do.
Okay.
So, and it's trolling because my community is literally called the Troll Society. We are trolls.
We are called the Troll Society. Not we were. We are called the Troll Society and we are trolls. Big smile.
Yeah, I know that.
So I went to her channel and I went and I clicked in and it said in the chat thing, it said, do not ask to play. And normally that is not like the #1 rule.
So the rule in the channel is do not ask to play, which is a rule that quite a few people use. Some people do, some people don't. But at the end of the day, it's their channel, it's their rules.
For people, you know, don't ask to play. It's like one of the, please don't ask to play. But she...
Well, what do you mean? She says it's one of the, please don't ask to play. No, it's your channel, it's your rules.
was just chatting at the time.
Yeah.
So I typed, can I play?
Look at her face. Can I play? And she's laughing. This is not the language or the expressions of somebody that's remorseful about something they've done that they've moved on from.
And what happened then was she didn't really respond. And then one of her other rules was don't talk about politics. Okay. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted. And we were talking about what the word communism meant earlier in stream. And I didn't know what it meant because I'm an idiot. And they, and they had to explain it to me.
You already broke your own rules. You did 2. You only do 1, Teeny.
And to be fair, it's a good point because she said she broke 1 rule. She's already broken 2.
Okay.
So I said, so the second thing I said was, I like communism. And I was going to finish.
So that's her breaking the politics rule. She likes communism.
This sentence with, because in Soviet Russia, we don't discriminate. Everyone eventually joins the raid party. But she insta-banned me. I said 2 things in her chat. She fucking slammed that ban hammer down.
And to be fair, normally that is the case. If you go into chat and deliberately break rules, especially if you break one rule after another, you're going to be banned. There were very few streamers that I know would tolerate that if they were specific rules that you'd agree to.
And then, bear in mind, I was brought here by a viewer, so the viewer should have known that I go in and I troll. Can I put you here? Can I make you bigger?
The viewer should have known. Now it's the viewer's fault. Sure.
So she insta-banned me, and I went, wow, she insta-banned pretty fucking fast.
And you broke 2 of the rules. Obviously, you get banned. They'll have been watching you from breaking the first rule, and then when you broke the second rule, you were done.
First of all, normally you play with a troll.
Yeah.
But I was like, fair enough.
I mean, you can play with the troll if you want to, but then it kind of is, but it's up to the individual what they do. It's their stream.
Also, your panels are fucking... Yo, I love your panels, by the way.
Yo, do you want to know who did them?
Who?
I'm fucking her. It's my girlfriend.
That's only my opinion, but somebody who would talk about their partner like that is pretty disgusting. Maybe it's just me, but I feel that's incredibly disrespectful. I would never, ever think about talking about a partner of mine like that. There's been a lot of talk over the last couple of years with the Me Too movement and stuff, and mainly aimed at men and locker room talk. And obviously, the majority of the time that happens, we know it's men. But let's just be clear what I think. I don't believe it's acceptable whether you're a man or a woman.
So within 5 minutes, this girl was had learnt that I was a streamer, learnt that I was live at the time that I was typing, and had decided in her mind that this was trolling. Okay, and then it's almost like you can see the mind.
Okay, so she hadn't even raided at that point. It was pre-raid, and she's breaking the rules while everyone in her chat's watching and have a good laugh about it.
Map. It was trolling, harassment, report.
That's interesting, isn't it? That she uses the word harassment. I mean, that kind of behavior is kind of harassing. I mean, I wouldn't say that I've done anything like that, but, you know, she describes what I do as harassing, so.
To Twitch, it was, I demand an apology. I'm not going to accept the apology because it was so bad.
I can't comment on any of that. I have no idea about the apology and stuff like that. No idea.
And then it was, I have this personal trauma in my life, which is, and they should have known that. And then it was, this was traumatic. The words, this was traumatic for me. Yeah. Me coming in and saying, can I play?
So if she says it was traumatic for her, the thing is, what is traumatic for one person isn't traumatic. After this, there was basically a couple of months went by where she said some things on Twitter, I said some things on Twitter. She was always the victim in her mind, though, of course. And then she made a video saying that she didn't want it. She had no hat on, and she's in, oh, this is Laura now, and I just want this to end because I didn't want any of this. She was playing the victim, and interestingly enough, this video of her is now gone. But at the time, do you know what? I thought, no, enough is enough. This is genuinely not going to say anything again. Then fair enough. I decided to look past it and get on with it. But then things got kind of weird, and she started messaging me for different reasons. There was a random message about a Google Drive. I can't even really remember about that, to be honest. But the first proper message said, reaching out, an olive branch, if you will. You're friends with my friend Chloe, and she had some good things to say about you after I spoke to her. You were asking for stream team leaders previously. I run adult daycare. Happy to have a recorded chat if we can bury our previous issues. And I just basically replied saying that I was looking to chat with support stream team leaders, which I don't believe hers to be. So here, Teeny says, oh, OMFG, leave Jay alone. With a laughing face, If I get a single DM and have to pat his head all night because of you, I'll shit in your hat and send it back. And I put, why doesn't he just say he fucked up? How is he the face of Hover over Xander? Because I couldn't believe it when I'd see Xander talk and ask questions. Why Jay had been the face of Hover. Strange, I'm not being able to answer as a professional but wanting to spill tea. And I put, haha, it's fine. I'm sure I'll find out after. So I'm not pushing her for information at any point. The only thing I ask is, did they get any new devs? She said she assumed so. Here I put, thoughts on Hover aside, he really should not be the face of it, still talking about Jay. Xander showed in one stream he was so much better with very little experience of doing it. Could just get a decent long-term streamer to do it. She put, yeah, I agree with you on that. Let him be the host, but he doesn't have public-facing experience. Very odd. In the earlier days when he joined, any enthusiasm for the company qualified you for a role. She put, he was the host for ages and then the community manager and then COO. I get on with Xander way better than Jay. Xander is really smart. I put, he is smart and takes criticism well, which was probably one of the skills that helped him progress in his career. I just don't know what their next move is. Nobody is coming to buy Hover. And she's put, I've actually heard otherwise. Being close to them, I got privileged information. And I think you'd be surprised. And you notice here, I put, honestly, I'll believe it when I see it. There's no money to be made there. Notice again, I'm not saying, yes, give me that information. Because I'm still wary of her at this point anyway. And I'm not really sure why she wants to speak to me so much. I'm not sure. It needs so much work and its usage is falling. And she put, usage is definitely falling, but I think it will pick up again briefly. That aged well. We spoke a little bit about GSCON and said she was trying to promote bigger creators to go to it. And then there's some more information which I'm not going to cover because it doxes her and members of her family about where they live. So obviously I won't do that. So I put, oh no, I'm getting a lot of shit on GSCON. For fuck's sake, what do you mean? Also, that Azalea person came to my chat today. I nearly commented on it myself. I put, she's something else. I put, oh, they had a chair giveaway that didn't sell enough tickets and the original chair went missing. She put, what? I never heard about this. I put, they also asked for an order from a small creator for goodie bags who said that it was fine, but she needed time to make them. They never got back to her until there was not enough time to do them. And she put, laughing face, sounds like poor organization to be honest. You think they're sus? ? Let me at least go to the event and report back before you cancel them. And again, I've not asked her for any information. That's something she's offering up. She's offering to spill the tea at whatever happens at GSCON. She put, well, I'm going to it in August. You may want to hold off until then on them if you're making a video. I can literally provide pictures and first-hand account. Again, she's offering to share the information. And I put, I don't think I'll make anything on that, but just letting you know is all. So again, I'm not saying, yeah, come and do it. Removed Hover from my Twitter bio. Little steps. And I put, oof, there'll be tears. And she put, trust me, when it's time, you're going to have some dirt. And I put, oh, I'm ready. Because I already know there's a shed load of dirt on Hover that I am still not privy to. I have one more obligation and then I'm done. And I put, cool, I'll be on the lookout. Again, not pressing her. I have to do the next top streamer stuff this season. I wanted to judge as a guest, but I think they're choosing someone else over me. So I have to do the boring sideshow whilst working 14-hour days with 1.5 hour commute. Sigh. So I put, what's the boring side? She put, I used to run the Next Top Streamer podcast for EU people who missed the show, basically. And she put, yo, just got out of a meeting. Save the Hover stuff for season 6 of NTS. This is season 5 in August. You want season 6. And I put, why? She put, I'm not allowed to say anything, but consider this a very good tip. There will be content. Brer, the shit I can tell you when I'm out of this NDA. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. It's a contract that you sign to say that you can't say anything about the company, either in a certain amount of time or indefinitely, depending on the contract. If you want to take a company like Hover down, you need to hit them as they gain traction. You're punching down right now, laughing face. I put, I know, I'm sure you've got Jay sobbing on your voicemail. Just being a dick on Twitter today, don't mind me. I haven't had beef in a while. She put, as promised, once I've been to the con, you'll get the feedback on it. And you can see I've not asked for it there, and I don't say anything back. I don't even reply. Got to defend them a little as I'm going to the event. So she's saying she's defending the con there, but actually she's looking forward to going and relaying the information. So further down, 6th of August. Yo, back from GSCON, it was lackluster at best. And I put, yeah, I assume, by the way, all the pictures were from the bars and not the con. I think a decent meetup just needs to be arranged. Forget the con. Just get some bars and host activities planned. She put, oh yeah, basically, I've been brought on to get more brands and people involved for next year. We've taken on a fuckload of ideas and stuff, and we're going to try and do them all. Matt just didn't have the contacts, and that was super clear. I put, I would just eat him the fuck out of it. And she put, nah, it's his baby, let him have it. But we are definitely going to be steering it in a better direction. And I put, okay, he's treated people like dirt though. Just be careful, because there could be more. I put, he's already making prolific support for support members VIPs for next year. And she put, what do you mean? We haven't announced any VIPs yet. VIPs isn't something he gives you, it's something you pay for. So if support for support people are being given VIP, it's because they paid for it. And I put, gross. And she put, yeah, we are changing things. Don't worry, we see it. We want to make VIP for content creators who will be making... We want to make VIP for content creators who are making content about the con. I actually think you should go next year to hang out. And I put, not a chance, that guy is clueless. And she put, it's not him running it though. And I put, I'll never be associated with him. He had a chance to own up to his wrongdoings. He ripped people off too. And she put, not intentionally, I don't think. So in that, she's kind of acknowledging that he's ripped people off. She's just saying that he didn't do it on purpose. So note that she was going to tell me all about the con, goes to the con, comes back, and suddenly she's going to be helping run it. So she asked me about feedback, and I'd say to stop making promises that can't be kept, I'd say. Stop talking shit about making a con in the States and sending people to it. She put, that actually was the plan, but me and Sind already shut that down. She's talking about Cindella there. We are staying in the UK for the foreseeable. And promises wise, yes, we are planning and announcing after contracts complete now. Giveaways won't be announced until after the product is in our hands. Was there anything else? She put, we don't want to get into toxicity with people who like the event, so we just tell people not to engage with it. Honestly, I think the hype... And she puts, honestly, I think the hype you think you're going to get from this is much less than you will get. Lol. It's a community event, and we are changing a lot of it. So half of this stuff you guys are complaining about won't matter next year because we are planning to resolve it all quickly. She's talking about the hype she thinks I'm going to get. I've already told her earlier that I don't plan on getting a video. And when she offered up information or said she was going to get information, I didn't push her or respond to it. So what's she worried about? She's like, oh, I'm in charge of this. Oh, you won't get any clout for covering this. You won't get any hype. Don't worry about that. There's no point you covering GSCON. It's almost like you won't do it, will you? You're not going to get hype from this. Like trying to manipulate me and make me think a different way. And I didn't actually care, and that's why I hadn't made a video about it. The event fell flat this year a little at the actual convention. Things were missed and other things failed to appear. But we have an actual team now. Also, Drip Squad guy was there, and some guy with blue hair. And they made jokes about you cancelling them for having a picture together. That could quite possibly have happened. Joe, dude, I literally explained to you what the announcement was. Why did you twist it like that? I'm not sure what this was about. It must have been some GSCON announcement. And I put, that's what it says. Okay, that's the last time we let anyone but Cindella write Discord announcements then. She would have worded it better. We were trying to tell people not to attack and fuel the drama. They're just people who went to a con. You can't tell them what to say. And she put, we can ask though, right? You free for a call with me and Sind? Nothing special right now. We just want to chat about it so we can hear exactly what you want us to do, lol. See, this is interesting. When things go against her, she wants to call. Let's do a call. Let's do a call. Because she knows she's pretty good at manipulating people. I said, not today. Going to get my video out and stream. She put, I'll be watching that beast of a video while I edit today. Jesus Christ. And I put, yeah, it's bad. There's actually worse accounts. Then she put, finally jumped. When do you want me to start bitching about Hover to you then? And she put, what do you want to know? And I put, what the fuck is going on? And then I ask, is Jay GSCON manager now? Laughing face. So this was when Jay left and Teeny jumped at the same time as Jay. No, director of GSCON is Matt still. Me and Sind have very much taken over most of it though right now. Jay left to be a community manager of another company, but I don't know what company that is yet. When I know, I'll tell you. And I put, oh my God, somebody took him on. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, because I was pretty shocked after his performance at Hover. And I never really got any information about Hover at that point. And then we talked about fresh cut diamonds for a bit. Need advice. GSCON partnered a couple of streamers to the con before I took over, and I don't know how to get rid of them. Lol. Like, they're not good. Also, with fresh cut, I won't say anything publicly, but if someone tags me asking what I think, I'll say it looks trash. Are you ever going to private those videos with me? No way, that's our whole history. Boo. And I put, it's Teeny's legacy too. Yes, but the issue is that when you'd watch my name on YouTube, you'd find a drama video. And I need that not to be there because the place I'm applying to looks for that shit. Not asking you to delete it, you keep the views. but I just don't think it's relevant right now and could cost me an opportunity, literally for just a month. And so we went back and forth about this, and I actually agreed to get rid of it for the time being. So at this point, me and Tina have had a video conversation, and that was when she told me that her whole shtick and the whole things in the videos was all a facade, that she thought I was in on it as well, which was very weird. Now here she posts a picture of McBTV rocking a Crowfam t-shirt and puts hashtag Crowfam. It's pretty obvious what she's trying to say there, and I put your mate. I'm Switzerland here, I don't associate with follow for follow. And I put Switzerland, he's a knob, because he is. And then the conversation turns into arguments about me talking about the stuff that Matt did for GSCON, which I shared on Twitter, some of the shady and underhand things that he did. And she says things like, I need you to work here with me as a friend and give me a little more info so I know where to focus my efforts. And we go back and forth, and basically she starts to say Matt's okay all of a sudden. Matt's a good guy. So, and obviously she knows about everything. I'd already told her why he wasn't a good guy. We went through all the different reasons why. So at the end of this conversation, she put, so we aren't cool with each other then. And this was because of the stuff that I was writing on some of her posts. I'm just judging by your comments here. And I put, well, this bullshit with Matt, on top of pretending you thought our back and forth was something I was in on, I'm struggling to have any respect for you. I tried, but you're still trying to manipulate others. The character thing has got you in the shit, and now you're flapping. And she put, no, it hasn't. I'm dropping it because I want to. Good luck to you, Joe. Nice being civil while it lasted. I put, I don't believe you. And that's where we pretty much left it. We've had some back and forth on Twitter and whatnot, but I hadn't spoken about it for a fair while now, a month or so. But she then announces that she's leaving GSCON and says she's going to spill the tea on her channel.
GSCON. I have chosen to step down from GSCON. So the whole time I was there, it was, I enjoyed it. There was nothing particularly wrong with it, apart from there were a lot of people telling me that they didn't believe in the brand, etc. And I said, okay, well, it's my job to try and make it better.
Hi.
That's why I was there, right?
Boop.
That's why I was there, right? I was there to try and make
Beep.
it better. I had multiple people reach out to me in DMs telling me not to trust the director of GSCON. Multiple people. Some people I don't class as friends, and I honestly just disregarded their opinion. Other people I do class as friends, and I listened. Regardless, the advice was the same from all parties.
Mine.
But my thing is that I make my mind up about people in my own time. And I make my decisions based on what I see and not what other people see. And at the time, Matt, the director, had given me no reason not to trust him.
She knew that people hadn't got the prizes that they were promised, but she said that she makes her own mind up.
So unless you give me a reason not to trust you, I will trust you. And I will give my everything that I can. Let me just turn my music down for me. Okay, I'll give you everything that I can. That is so still. I'm really easily distracted today. Can you tell my brain is like everywhere? So you need to give me a reason not to trust you, for me to kind of back off. And
So again, she knew that he'd lied to several other people. She'd been told, not just by myself, that he'd lied to several other people. She knew when she turned up on the convention and half the brands that he said were going to be there were not there. But again, that wasn't enough for her, apparently, at that time.
And it's very, very easy to lose my trust, because the only thing you have to do is lie to me and think that I'm stupid enough to believe it. So that is how you lose my trust, is lying to me. I haven't lied to anyone in GSCON. I've never had a reason to. I've always put GSCON first.
I highly doubt that. This is the person who said that the whole thing between me and her was a charade that she thought I was involved in, but she never lied to anyone at GSCON. Okay.
Even with a lot of the brands.
Peen.
So let's talk about what happened. I had to go to work. As you guys know, since getting back, I've had a bit of a struggle with my work. It was over an hour and a half drive to work. It was a very, very long commute. Then it was like 2.5 hours back home. It was a lot, but I had 4 days on, 4 days off. So on my 4 days off, I would work on GSCON, and on my 4 days on, I would still be able to do some GSCON stuff because it was basically dead at work. I just brought my laptop in. I had a lot of free time. I was able to work at work, and I was doing it for free too.
You even took over talking to others with issues like myself, and you were amazing, and I believed everything you told me as you made me feel assured. Well, that was the idea, Ratty. Quite frankly, I wanted to make sure you felt listened to.
Did you want to make sure that they felt listened to, or did you want to quash any kind of criticism that was aimed at the convention because suddenly your name was on it?
So I did a lot of things for GSCON, including I took over all of the brand stuff, and I basically became kind of, well, at the beginning, I would say like a kind of general manager, I guess. Not the director, but I was kind of the step below it. I was like the number 2 or number 3. I was kind of equal to Cinderella in that thing, but I think I was just a bit more involved than Cinderella was at the time, like ever so slightly. So when someone had a question, if Matt wasn't there, they tended to come to me. Or if Matt wasn't there to answer it, I would answer it, and it would still be that kind of final say kind of thing at the time, like in the beginning. When I left my job, which was over an hour and a half away, and I moved to something closer, which was like in the last month or so, I did say, hey, I need to step back a little bit. I need to focus on this new job for a little bit at first, find out and get my bearings and stuff. So I'm going to be a bit more of a silent help right now. But I will be here. I am here. I'm not leaving. And I am still helping. And this is still my role, kind of thing. That essentially was the conversation we had over voice. And there were a few messages which basically around about said the same thing. I don't really know how much I was typing, honestly. Hi, Briar. So I had said, hey, I have a new job, so I need to step back a little bit and just do some other things. So so what I did do, I made a pitch deck. That pitch deck got taken to 3 quite well-known brands that I'm sure all of you will have heard of. And I managed to get sponsorships from all 3 of those brands, straight up, towards different aspects of the conventions. Those brands I have now contacted, and I've said, hey, just so you're aware, I'm leaving GSCON. I cannot now guarantee that you will get the same results for advertising that I promised you in our initial meeting, because the person or persons that are replacing me do not have the same experience that I do with brands. They do not know you like I do. They do not have the personal relationship with you like I do. So I'm just telling you, this is not for you to back out. It's just so you know that what you will receive from them will be different, and it may not live up to your expectations. I am not putting my name to that brand anymore. And they all have said that they are backing out. So all 3 sponsors have left, as far as I'm aware. Of course I keep them in the loop. If I didn't keep them in the loop, I wouldn't be the person they come to. They come to me for these things because I communicate.
I love the way that she makes out all the brands come to her, like she's never chased a brand in her life. She's got this thing where, like you saw in the messages, it's like, I know somebody, or I've got contact, or I've got the information. She likes to make out that she knows everything. She likes to make out that she knows all the contacts. And as I watch everything back, broadly from her, it's very clear. And as I watch everything back broadly from her, it's very clear how much of a liar and manipulator she is.
So that was after the fact, but let's look at what actually happened that caused me to leave. So it wasn't a bigger deal as you guys might think, but it was the principle of it. In that I had put a lot of my time and energy and effort into obtaining things, getting brand deals. I was doing a lot of the heavy lifting. When it came to filling up the convention with things like brands, games. I was going to every convention there was. I was networking with games. I was telling people about the convention, like, hey, we'd love you to bring this stall to our convention. please bring it down. And I was getting handshakes, I was getting yeses. But when I went into the Discord, my admin privileges had been removed. So I was no longer able to see any of my work. I'd been locked out of my contacts, out of all of my logs and everything I'd previously done. For free, by the way. I did all this for free. I was locked out of my agreement packages, all of the packs that I'd made, everything. I was locked out of everything, and I was just reduced to a staff member. And he'd replaced me as an admin with the tech guy. And I was like, okay, so you think... I was like, okay, what the fuck? And then I tried to log into the Twitter account because I helped to control the Twitter account sometimes. I barely did that. That was mainly Cinderella. But I had the access to Twitter and it was suddenly gone. The account was deleted from my app, meaning that someone had changed the password and logged out all devices. And I was like, oh, okay. What the fuck did I do? So I messaged Matt from GSCON. And I said, hey, so I'm not an admin anymore then. And essentially what I got in return was a very aggressive, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. I'll give it back to you. And I was like, wait, no, that's not how this works. You've removed all of my access and blocked me out of all of my contacts and all of the work that I had done for you for free. You've just removed it. For what? Why have you done that without talking to me about it? Oh, no, it was just a misunderstanding. Basically, get over it and just get back to work, was what I was told. And I was like... So I slept on it. And the next morning, I said, no, I'm out. You didn't communicate. You removed access. You've essentially stolen all of my contacts and the hard work I've done for you. You replaced me with a tech guy who has no idea what he is doing in my position because he does not have the experience I have. I'm out. And where I go, Cinderella goes. She's also very, very busy, but Cinderella would not stand for that behavior from them towards me. And she has also left. Also, 2 silent helps. Who are quite good influencers have also left. Partners have been leaving. And also the cosplay champion of the UK, which I helped onboard, as in like the reigning UK champion of cosplay who was going to set up the cosplay contest, is also due to leave very, very shortly, because when they announced the new staff list and they announced that 2 people's wives were going to be doing the brands in my place, with no experience in my place, with no experience of brands work like this, she very quickly realized that actually they weren't going to be able to get the funding that she needed to run the cosplay contest. It was also towards me, not just you. I was removed instantly from the site and logged out to access to the website. So you've been blocked out from everything as well. So basically, he's changed all of the passwords on us overnight without speaking to us because we said that we had to be quiet. So yeah, he has completely locked us out. He has. Thank you so much for the fucking sub, Lizzie. This is a lot of crunches I have to do at the end of stream. I think what you don't understand is that in this industry, you don't do that.
I think this is quite interesting from James Spector. As soon as you were out, I followed and have since been removed from the disco. So, even though you'd seen all the other stuff, it had to be certain people you saw that were having problems, then you walk. Not all the other people that have problems. It's almost like it's a group of clout chasers, and when they realized they couldn't get the clout, let's go.
This might be a bad time to say it, but Matt, the director, thought he was in a relationship with you. Just so you know. So yeah, Matt made it quite clear to me and Cinderella during, yeah, we knew, during the beginning stages of whatever kind of flirtationship you had going on. He made it very clear that he intended to have a relationship with you or would like one. And he was going to give you partner and stuff, or he was overlooking you for things because of that.
So she said there he wasn't sure what was going to happen. So bear that in mind to what we hear shortly.
When I was told it was a miscommunication and, oh no, the password for Twitter should be the same, I don't know what's happened, I knew that he was lying. And I thought it was actually kind of rude of him to question my intelligence and think he's the smartest person in the room when he's talking to me. No. Don't pull that shit. I'm not stupid at all. I can smell bullshit from a mile off.
She could smell it a mile off, yet it took for him to, what he says was accidentally block her out of an account for her to leave. Not all the other stuff she was told.
And if you are lying to me and thinking you're getting away with it, most often you're not, and I'm just not saying anything. I was literally just there to help you guys. And then Matt fucked up by locking me out of all of my hard work that I'd spent months doing. All of my contacts that I spent months accumulating and my own money going to get. And then had told me that it was just a misunderstanding. No.
So you weren't bothered about him saying he was going to be in a relationship with someone else potentially, or that's what he thought, even though you knew that wasn't the case?
Honestly, a lot of our feedback was about Matt when we had the feedback forms.
So it's not just the people that told her like me. They also got a shed load of forms about Matt and the issues that were with Matt. And they still thought, no, I can get something out of this. I can get something out of this. We can sort this. Nothing bad could go wrong. Because she needs to make her own mind up, remember?
And because I didn't trust Joe Tendo, I did not listen. When actually, as much as I fucking hate the guy, he had a good point at that time.
But it wasn't just me that told you. I didn't instantly not trust Matt. There were so many accounts of things that he'd done, and some of those were proven that I couldn't trust him. I couldn't possibly trust him. But Teeny could. Or was it the potential clout?
He had a good point.
It wasn't really that good of a point. It was obvious to anybody who stood up and took notice. It's just, it seems to me, she realised this con was not going to help her. It was always going to be a shambles, and bailed.
How much extra does the situation suck that Tendo was right about Matt?
How much extra does the situation suck that Tendo was right about Matt? Right about Matt, yes. Right about GSCON, yes. Right about Hover, yes. Right about support for support teams crumbling, yes. Right about the sexual predators that left the platform, yes. Right about the paedophile that left the platform, also yes. Yeah, I guess it must be really, really surprising that happened.
Oh. Honestly, let's talk about. We can talk about Joe Tendo if you want. I think people seem to think that I despise the man as much as I fucking hate the guy. I don't care really about him. He's right about a lot of things. And this is the thing about Joe. Having met him now and kind of knowing him a bit better, I guess. The thing about Joe is that he is often right about a lot of things. But he's so aggressive with how he fights his corner.
Right. I mean, the thing is that if you're not somewhat aggressive, people won't listen. Like with the Hover situation at first, I was up against literally thousands of people who disagree with me. So if I'd have been a shrinking violet and gone, well, okay, I guess you're right, I don't think the message would have got through to a lot of them. And a lot of them it still didn't, but a lot of them it actually did. Unfortunately, if you don't stamp your feet a bit, people do not listen. It's the same as if you don't call out names and just say that something's happened. People don't take it as seriously. Right. I mean, the thing is that if you're not somewhat aggressive, people won't listen. Like with the Hover situation at first, I was up against literally thousands of people who disagree with me. So if I'd have been a shrinking violet and gone, well, okay, I guess you're right, I don't think the message would have got through to a lot of them. And a lot of them it still didn't, but a lot of them it actually did.
It's very, very hard to see his point by the end of it, in that he'll fight from 3 or 4 different corners and make each as equally important. And there's like a lot of stuff that he does like he sometimes he fights the wrong battles, and it's really, really hard to see where he's going with some stuff.
When she says I fight from 3 or 4 corners, it means there's several different problems or points that are wrong. Of course, when you put them all together, it adds up to an even bigger point. It's really not that complex. She's entitled to say that I might be fighting the wrong battle. A lot of the time, if I believe something or somebody to be morally bankrupt, it doesn't make a difference to me. I don't just chase after certain people because they're bigger. I don't go after people because what they're doing is worse than somebody else is doing. It's whatever's brought to my attention.
If that makes sense. But a lot of the time, like how do I word this? In person, Joe's okay. Like I don't have really anything to say on the guy. I don't.
As much as I fucking hate the guy.
Hate him. I don't like him particularly. Do I think he obsesses over stuff? Yes. I think he's got a very obsessive personality. He's like a dog with a bone. When he sees an injustice, he must carry it out, even if that injustice actually isn't that bad. If you dent his pride, you have it the worst. If you dent his pride or hurt his ego in any way, he will come for you. That is a fact. I'm a prime example of that. But is he wrong about a lot of stuff? I would say Joe is right 75% of the time. But when he's wrong or disproven, he just kind of diverts to something else. And then eventually he surrounds that one thing with so much bullshit that you can't see the original point anymore. If that makes sense. It's really, really hard. He's really, really hard to describe as a person, I guess. I got on with him in real life. Would I talk to him again? Probably, if he approached me, but I don't see the need to talk to him if he's kind of like, because I think a while ago, he was being pretty obsessive about me on Twitter.
I agree. I don't necessarily agree with the obsessiveness. I think that a lot of people seem to think that I'm sat here at home and I'm like obsessing constantly about these things in my mind. I'm really not. It's just a lot of people see that side of me on Twitter or they see my videos. And of course, that's what it's about. So I understand why some people might think that. But there is much more to my life. And the whole streaming side of me is 99% nothing to do with it. So no, I don't really agree with that. J-Pop, I'll give him one thing, the man is very passionate. Of that I am. I don't know if it's about ego or pride. I'm more likely to come after you if you've done wrong to somebody else than myself. Like I said, I can take it, but I like to warn other people. It's not an ego thing and it's not a pride thing. And I have admitted to mistakes that I've made several times. McBTV, Tendo is a smart dude. There's many, many ways he could be more likable. Smarter than you, McBTV. And how do you propose that I become more likable? Because, you know, you're clearly so great at being likable. It's so weird that she would say that I put bullshit around things when she does things like say that whole thing was an act. That whole thing that went on for over a year, that the whole thing with her wearing a hat, and when she's a hat, she's in character, but she didn't say that until much later on. The whole stuff, again, with her trying to claim that all our back and forth she thought was theatrics. And she's saying that I cover things up in bullshit. I do nothing but my utmost to answer everybody as honestly as I can. That is why I never block anybody on Twitter, and I encourage people to ask me questions. I have got nothing to hide from at all. She says that I was obsessing about her, and let's be clear, I've only ever answered to things she's done or things she's lied about. I don't believe that's obsessive, but I think it is important to warn people. Only issue I have with Joe is he used situations and circumstances that wasn't his, like a prize with GSCON for one person, and my situation, which won't be gone into as you dealt with. When there are people that could potentially be going into more competitions with GSCON, and people have been ripped off, yeah, I'm going to warn them about it. Now, you could believe what you want about how I'm using that situation, whether it'll affect me or not. I just think it's the right thing to do. If you think otherwise, and you think that it's a pure clout chasing thing, you're entitled to think that, but it's not true. I like that Teeny as well, when she says, oh, he's right 75% of the time. She gives no examples of when I'm wrong. She gives no examples of where I'm deflected and covering up things with bullshit, yet I do every single time I mention somebody. Every single time I back it up. Moswald, why he's so obsessed? Like, see how quickly people get it in their heads that I'm the bad guy.
He lied to us by saying that he was dating Nikaroo. Nikaroo is in chat. Nikaroo, did you date Matt at any point?
Now, she says dating there. That sounds different to what she said earlier. I honestly don't know what could have happened there and what he actually said. But Teeny is now saying dating, which I'm sure is pretty different to what she said earlier.
To people that told me not to trust Matt. I've always said that I'll be there until he gives me a reason not to trust him. He gave me a reason not to trust him.
Beep. Pew.
I mean, you were warned by Joe, twisted myself. I mean, okay, Chloe. Okay, Chloe, come here. Sit down. Sit down.
Z.
Are you sitting? Are you paying attention, Chloe?
She's being funny now.
I was warned by Joe and Twisted. And you did that thing where you sit on the fence and don't say anything in case it bites you in the butt later. Okay, let's not pretend, right? Do you really think that I'm going to listen to Joe Tendo, the man who obsessively tweeted about me and made videos on me for 4 months? Do you think his is the first opinion I would listen to?
As I said again, she made the first content on me. She also messaged me before that, and I left it after that, didn't even mention her after that. The video showed her up to be what she was, and she backed down. And then we left it. And that was it. And then she lied to me. She said the whole thing was a facade, which was absolute bollocks. I then watched her try and gain some clout by heading GSCON, despite knowing everything about the problems with GSCON, and it comes back to bite her again. People told her, and now she's trying to belittle people and make out that, oh, she wasn't told. But it wasn't just me. Do you think you're really going to believe Joe Tendo? You just said I'm right 75% of the time. I mean, you didn't give an example of what I've been wrong on, but, you know.
Probably not. You need to remember where there's history, there's history. And bullied and harassed. I don't want to get back into this, guys. He just tried to cancel me too. What do you mean, Grace? Why would he try to cancel you? What'd you do?
This bit's interesting. Swish and Flick. No idea who that is. And bullied and harassed. Take a look at the videos. See who you think was a bully and who was harassing. Mistress Graves. Lamau, he just tried to cancel me too. Now this is actually interesting because I pointed this out, tweeted about it, and I asked Mistress Graves, when did I try and cancel you? And guess what? She had no reply. And then in the end, when I asked her, bro, can you chill? I literally had no idea who you were until the quote retweeted me, dragging me into something out of context. Sorry my existence bothers you. She had no idea who I was. She's saying she doesn't want to be involved. She's literally involving herself. I put, you involved yourself. Don't put this on me. What kind of narrative are you spinning? You told a lie about me today. You can't admit it. Pathetic. Again, as I've said, I had no idea who you were until you quote tweeted me. And I even defended you. But you keep ignoring that, picking to fit narrative. You will see how she defended me in a minute. If anything, it's incredibly creepy and terrifying that after one interaction, you have people screenshotting one thing I said, even though the next was not even negative about you. You're freaking unhinged. Get a life out of Twitter, for fuck's sake. You can't tell a lie about me and then say it's weird and unhinged for calling it out. I never tried to cancel. I literally have no idea what she's talking about.
About my mental health check-in streams. Yeah, mental health streams. So this is what I was saying about Joe. He's like Marmite. You either love him or hate him. Me, I kind of nothing him. I don't give him any of my attention anymore. It's weird that I'm talking about him.
I don't give him any of my attention. Just been talking about him for like 10 minutes. Chloe says, you messaged me months before GSCON saying that Matt was accused of sexual assault and you were worried, but then still went and took the reins to make it better.
I mean, I was messaged saying something like that. But there, again, like, as I said before, an accusation isn't a conviction. You can be accused of things Like, for example, Joe, your friend, was
Right.
accused of sexual assault, but there was no proof. And do I believe for a second that Joe Tendo would sexually assault someone? No. The guy would not. That
Yeah.
guy, as much as I
Okay.
dislike Joe Tendo, he would not touch a woman like that.
It's not just that there was no proof. They semi-admitted they made it up and then hid away. But are you telling me that after everything that happened, it wasn't just one accusation, it was accusations of so many different things, and you're still not stepping back? Is there anybody else on the platform that she would have done the same for, do you think? Especially somebody she wasn't really friends with. It just doesn't add up at all.
It's never ever fair for us to be that way.
So this is her defending me, what I was talking about earlier, Mistress Graves. He's a piece of shit, but I don't think he would either. Oh, well, that's good. That's real defense. You don't think that I would sexually assault someone. Great. That's not really a defense for the lie you told. And just because that is true, it doesn't mean that it cancels out the lie you told. Still.
I'm not being that person. With Stevie Business, I had my own experience with him, not in person, but over the internet, which made me uncomfortable. Whenever someone asked me about it, I would tell them, and I would literally say, hey, go away, I'm not talking to you. And I would literally say, hey, here's why I don't go near this person. And I would explain very, very, very plainly, very bluntly, and I would say, this person's going to do bad things one day. I have a gut feeling. It tends to be what I always said. People aren't going to heed that because it's just my gut feeling. It's just a gut feeling. That's all it is. But yeah, he did go on to do bad stuff eventually. And it angered me that two of the people I told about it, about his behavior, continued being his friend and then ended up actually getting assaulted by him. Yeah, that kind of made me annoyed. But again, nothing I can do. To be fair, I had a gut feeling on CV2. I was on a show once, had a bad experience, didn't like his vibe. Me either.
All I've seen of what happened with Stevie Business so far is all allegations, yet she made a tweet saying, I told you about this guy ages and ages ago.
So yeah,
Right.
like I said, an accusation isn't a conviction. We are not the judge and the juror and the executioner on the internet. And it's never ever fair for us to be that way. And I think the fact that people think that way is kind of shit.
This is coming from the person who literally told her community, if there's anything negative about her, to report it. Not just on the platform, but on the Twitch channel. But she really dislikes cancel culture. So the reason that I wanted to show you this was to clear a few things up. Because one, obviously, she's telling big lies about the fact that she thought the original dialogue between us was all fine, theatre and whatnot. And because we were okay with each other for a while, a lot of people think that we are close. Now, she told people, quote, me and Joe are tight. We were never tight. That never happened. We've never been tight. I was okay with her, but the minute she said to me that the whole thing was an act and that she didn't mean any of it, no. But I'll let you make your mind up yourself about that. And I also wanted to clear up this garbage from a VOD because, I don't have the chance to talk there, which I don't mind. That's fine. I tried to arrange through a mutual to have a conversation with Teeny, but it seems to have been forgotten about or put off. And I'm pretty sure that she would never do it. Not if I'm allowed to have the stuff to back myself up. I wanted to show you these aspects of Teeny, put it out there as a warning. How you take it is up to you. And she will kick off that I'm using her VOD, but at the end of the day, if I'm involved in it, I feel like I've got a right to reply to it. Which was how this all started, was me replying to some content that she'd made. If you got any questions or comments, put them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.